Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're setting up my bullet journal for the month of October and my very first Plan With Me. So without further ado, let's get started. For this heading, I chose a spiderweb pattern to fit my Halloween theme, which was the obvious theme choice for me because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. But here I'm just starting on my monthly spread. For my calendar page, I just used these boxes that are 3x8 squares for each day, and then a mini calendar at the top of the page for day placements. For the longest time, I used a full calendar layout that took up the whole spread or was just on one page horizontally, but I found myself not really using it as much as I would have liked. Since I prefer the portrait orientation for this page, I find that this method just works the best for me. On the right hand side, I'm making a few solid boxes where I can keep track of a few things. I like to track my credit card payments, my monthly goals, the events and tasks for the month, and any notes I might need to jot down. For decoration, I'm just drawing a few little pumpkins, first with pencil and then with my Crayola Super Tips. These are Plan With Me favorites because they're pretty cheap and they come in a wide variety of colors. Also, I've had them for forever, so I'm really glad I get to use them. I'll go ahead and link all of the supplies I use in this video down in the description box. I use the 5x8 hardcover Moleskine with squared or gridded pages. From the seasonal tape box by Recollections, I have these Halloween washi tapes that I've just been dying to use. The box comes with 45 tapes in all, and the one I'm using here has little witches on them. I'm also using a couple stickers from the Halloween themed sticker sheets I bought at Target in the dollar store section. And there you have it, my completed monthly spread. I have a few monthly pages before I get into my weekly spreads, the first of which is my expense tracker. This is a fairly new spread for me since I used to use Google spreadsheets to keep track of my expenses, but I find that the system has really been working. I wouldn't say that it's great for budgeting, but it does give me a full list of my purchases so I know what I shouldn't be spending on next month. Oh yeah, this is where I totally messed up on my spacing. So I just covered it with a little sheet of paper from a discarded notebook, and you can barely tell. That's my preferred method of covering up mistakes in my bullet journal, but I probably use my whiteout just as often. I track my credit card purchases as well as my checking and saving account balances on this spread, so that's why the spacing is a little different between the logs, just in case you're wondering. Down at the bottom here, I have a little section for notes, just where I can keep track of anyone who owes me money or if I owe people money for lunches or gas or anything like that. And my expense tracker is done. For the next monthly spread, I have my mind dump and planning page. The purpose of this spread is to just have a place to clear my mind between the weeks, just with task lists and thoughts, and I'm the type of person who is just always planning something, so this is a really nice, simple spread to have each month. My boyfriend Sam got me into using this system, and he wanted a shout out, so thanks, babe. And this is just a quick little flip through of my 3 monthly spreads before we get into my weekly spread. I've been through so many different layouts over the last 2 years, but I've stuck with this one for quite a while now. I've got those 2 boxes for my daily tasks and this little widget for my weekly schedule. I've coded all the aspects of my life to a specific color, for example, green is work, red is friends, etc. And that system allows me to utilize this method of scheduling. And these little boxes are my weather tracker. I've pretty much always had a weather tracker on my weekly spreads. It's super extra, but I really like it. This little section is my habit tracker. I know a lot of people have their habit trackers within their monthly spreads on a standalone page, but I found that when I did that, I was having trouble keeping it updated since I had to flip back and forth. This way, they're just right there on my spread each week. A couple of other things I have sections for are my weekly events, goals, notes and tasks, and future events. The future events section is actually really great because I can still stay on top of what's happening next week, even though I don't usually make my weekly spreads ahead of time. I tend to have a bit of space in the upper right corner of my spread each week, so I like to draw a little doodle. I was inspired by that vine. You know the vine. This vine.
Look at, it's freaking bats. I love Halloween.
My friends always send it to me whenever they see it online. I guess because it reminds them of me for some reason. Probably because I do love Halloween and I'm kind of crazy about it. Here's some toxic slime for ya. Now I'm just highlighting which week of the month it is for reference, and adding a few more doodles to my event section. I had drawn this little pumpkin wreath, I guess, but I ended up hating it, so I just covered it up with some paper and then drew a spider web instead. I think that's more fitting anyway, since I drew one just like it for my initial October header. Spiderwebs are super simple to draw, but they are kind of time consuming, which is why this portion is in super speed. I drew it first in pencil and then again with my Sharpie pen. My Sharpie pen is the black pen that I've been using for most of the text in this video so far. That or my black Papermate Flair pen, which belongs to the pack of colored pens that I use on a daily basis. For the dates in my daily task log, I like to give them a little more definition by highlighting them with my MILDLINERs in two different colors that go with my theme. Here with a light purple, and then with green. At the bottom of my spread, predictable, I know, but I'm using another one of my washi tapes. This one has little jack-o'-lanterns on it. But in my defense, I did say I was dying to use them. And with that, it's complete. Here's a close-up of my holographic skull stickers and my little spooky ghost. Since the month has already started, I went ahead and filled out my spreads with whatever content I had so far. That way you guys can get an idea of how I use these spreads. Thank you so much for watching my very first plan with me. I hope you guys got some inspiration for your bullet journals, and until next month, happy Halloween!